think I have quite an unusual history to unfold. I used to be a trained nurse, but I had very bad tuberculosis, and so I changed my profession and went to the university. And my first degree was in classics, but I really wanted to read theology, and this was in Great Britain. But there was only a part-time Catholic theologian in England, Scotland and Wales, and all the ones in Ireland were priests. So I had to receive permission from the cardinal to read theology in a Protestant university. I was assisted in this. Previously I had written to Louvain, but they had said I couldn't come unless I were a priest. And I had written to Maynooth, and they weren't even in Ireland, and they weren't even accepting lay people, let alone women. And so with the help of the Newman Society, which is the graduate union, Catholic union at the universities in England, I did gain permission from the cardinal. And I read theology at King's College, London. I did the 3-year degree in 2 years, so you can imagine. And I lived on approximately, in American terms, $900 a year. So I couldn't Xerox anything, buy books and so forth. So it was quite difficult. And then after, as my 2 years came to an end, some professors from various universities came over to interview candidates for a position of teaching in Uganda, East Africa. And so I bought a new dress and a new hat and went off on my motor scooter to have my interview. And to my great surprise, they chose me to go to Africa. And so this was my first theological post. And then I got the sequence of events right. I taught, excuse me, I've got the events wrong. I first was finishing my PhD from Nottingham University, but of course I had to support myself, so I taught classics at Durham University. And then subsequently I went to Africa, and it was a wonderful experience. But of course their library wasn't to cater for New Testament research. It was more religion rather than theology. And we catered for Muslims, Hindus, Catholics, other Christians, and African traditional religion. Now they ran out of money to pay my salary after 2 years, and so I applied to Notre Dame, and with the assistance of Bishop Beck from England and Professor David Dauber, Regius Professor of Law at Oxford, I was just appointed without coming over for an interview. I arrived to find I was one of the 2 women in the entire faculty, teaching faculty at Notre Dame. And my other colleague was just a charming woman, Sister Suzanne Kelly. So I've seen many changes. At that time there were graduate women studying, but there were no undergraduate women studying. They came about 70, if I remember correctly. Oh, maybe I should also say that when I got to America, of course, we worked for the diaconate for women, and I got 200 signatures on a statement that I composed. And then Dr. Elizabeth Schlusler Fiorenza came on our teaching staff, and she was more feminist than I, and her first book, The Forgotten Partner, was translated by Ave Maria Press, and I was one of the readers and advised that. And she went from strength to strength, very much supported by her husband, Francis Fiorenza. And we did also attend the ordination conferences for women. And then unfortunately I was ill for 2 or 3 years, although I kept on with my teaching and research, but I couldn't really add extra activities. I was involved in the beginning of the Pentecostal movement, but I was excommunicated because of my position on women. So that's just in a nutshell. And I have watched with great happiness the development of women on the faculty and students studying theology.